YouTube, so I'm just gonna be like tending to my rats, and also I decided to tell you some interesting facts about rats that I have learned over the years. I know it seems kind of random, but I just feel like a lot of people don't know enough. I'm also doing their laundry, but I feel like a lot of people don't know enough about rats. I'm just kind of vlogging while doing chores. Yes, I got a haircut, and yes, it's awesome. But I feel like there's a lot of misunderstandings about rats, because a lot of people seem to assume that rats are gross, and while normally I would look the other way and go, okay, that's their opinion, you know, they're missing out, I'm sick and tired of people calling my pets gross. So, for context, just give me a moment. For context of what rats really look like, this is what a rat looks like. And this is also what a rat looks like. Go back in there, babies. I have 5 of them right now. One of them is unfortunately dying, but this is Marnie. But as you see, she does not look like the type of rats that most people think of. She is soft. She's extremely soft. She has a very interesting face pattern. She is clearly very comfortable with me by the fact that she keeps, you know, exploring me and like hanging out on my shoulder. And yeah, so I'm just gonna stop ranting about stuff. I'm actually gonna educate people, because I think that the best way to change people's behavior is by educating them and showing that, hey, there's a, who said that there? There's a new and different behavior that you can have that isn't this behavior. Like, you have options to believe other things that exist. So, while I'm taking care of the laundry real quick, yeah, so first thing you need to know about rats is, first off, they're a biggest myth about them is that they're gross, is that they're dirty, they live in sewers, blah, 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 blah. Wild rats actually prefer to live in forests because there's a better food supply, typically. And by food supply, I'm not just talking about, oh, there's more food there, because clearly there isn't. I'm talking about there's better quality food there for the rats. And also, rats are very adaptable, so they can climb trees, they can go underground, they can do all this sort of stuff, and it's easier to do that in the forest. And also, considering that us humans are their greatest predators, they're technically less predators there. So yeah, they don't like living in sewers. That's really what they don't. Even when they live in big cities like New York, they usually don't live in the sewers, and when they are found in the toilet, that's because they fell in and got stuck, not because they crawled up the pipes. That doesn't happen very often. Even when it does happen, it usually happens out of desperation. It is not their preferred environment, believe me. And they're actually extremely clean. My rats will clean themselves more often than the cats do. And also, they are so clean. In fact, if I do not clean their cage often enough, and their little poops in their cage, which can sound pretty gross, they will flick the poops out because they're like, ew, gross, I don't want this here, ew. So yeah, rats are actually extremely clean and very picky about making sure that their environment is clean. If you do not clean often enough, they will retaliate. Another thing you need to know about rats, and this is a myth that actually a lot of people seem to somehow believe, you cannot have only one rat. It will not be a very fulfilling life. I mean, because they're heavily social animals. Like, they are extremely social. She likes to be in my little hoodie. They're extremely social and sociable. And they prefer to be with another rat. I mean, imagine this. This is easier to imagine because COVID, but imagine you're home by yourself with a dog. Yes, you have a dog, and yes, it's a comfort. But at the same time, it can't replace You having a dog doesn't replace human interaction. It's the same way with rats. Yes, you mean a lot to them, and yes, you are amazing, and yes, they love you, but your interaction with them does not replace rat on rat interaction, because frankly, you just aren't the same. Yeah, you recognize this? We're cleaning your cage. Yeah. Also, a lot of people think you can keep rats in tanks, but this is the type of cage a rat should be in. Now, even then, this is one of the type of cage. Sorry for the mess. Getting ready for Christmas, so it gets a little messy. But this is the type of cage a rat should be in. You notice that there's, a lot of room, a lot of climbing space, a lot of height. This is also a good cage. We kept our chickens in there for a short while. But that's also a good cage for rats. Just make sure the bar spacing isn't too, isn't too wide. But yeah, rats should not be in tanks. And a lot of people think it's because of the pneumonia. But that is really not... Hi, baby. Go back in there. Come on. But it's really not the case. It has nothing to do with pneumonia. That's bruxing, by the way, what she's doing. Hi. Yeah, it means she's happy. Anyways, but yeah, pneumonia is a part of it. Pneumonia is basically the chemical that is in urine, and it is a part of it, but it is not the whole, sorry, got distracted, but it's not the whole thing. Pneumonia is only part of the reason why you shouldn't keep rats in tanks. It's also because of a lack of climbing space. Rats are big climbers. They're big explorers. They love to climb. My rats, in spite of the ramps, which are meant for my older rats, even though I have ramps that are meant for... Okay, you can go in there. Even though I have ramps that are specifically meant for my older rats, they do not use them. Even though one of my rat has this huge tumor... Yeah, she's, again, not doing really well. But even though one of my rats has this huge tumor on her, she still prefers to climb and will force herself to climb in spite of the ramps. So yeah, they're huge climbers. They love to climb. So having a cage with bars is more ideal than having a tank where they can't really climb. Not to mention there's not very much floor space in a tank. Getting a tank that's large enough and it provides enough floor space for a rat would cost more than just buying a cage. So yeah, and not to mention they love hammocks, they love dangly things, they love levels, they love all that sort of stuff, which you just can't put in a tank. So it's more enriching for them to be in a cage, in a big cage. Another thing people need to know about rats is their tails. This is the thing that most people are squishy about, or like squeamish about, sorry. And, hi. Here's the thing. It's actually a myth that the tails are hairless. Now, come on. I know you want to be in there, I'm sorry. Now, if you actually look at it, it does look like it's hairless, right? And it does look kind of like a worm. But it actually has some fuzz on it, making it extremely soft and very pleasant to pet. And a lot of people are grossed out by the tails, but it's literally not that different. Oh, my sister's here. I'm filming something.
Okay, sorry.
Anyways, but yeah, it's really important for rats to have the tail because it's actually not that different from a cat's tail. The only difference is it has less hair on it, considered being hairless. It wraps around things just like a cat. Like people, it's really strange to me because people are super grossed out when a rat tail wraps around your hand or on your face, but they're not really grossed out when a cat does the same exact thing, which I think is just, a bit discriminatory. Sorry, I have to, trying to keep the camera on. Here's my baby. So rats need their tails, just like cats need their tails. It's not just for balance. And it's kind of like a little grappling hook. It's for balance. It's to climb better. It's also highly necessary for communication because rats communicate a lot of emotions through their tails, just like cats. So when you're grossed out by their tail, it's kind of like being grossed out by a cat's tail I mean, it's just stupid, in my opinion. So I'm gonna leave this off with like one other thing about rats that people should know, and that is, if somebody has a rat and they're just not your thing, don't call their pet gross. That is rude and it's mean, because you have to consider rats have a personality. They definitely have a personality. Marnie is one of the smartest rats I've ever had. She's the one that is usually more friendly towards other people, and she's usually the one who is just generally, you know, more explorative and a bit more confident and like wanting to check everything out, as you can clearly see. But the thing is, I mean, you have to understand, we bond with these animals. Rat owners bond with these animals as like a cat or a dog to us. We form a bond, they form a bond with us. So when you say that our pet is gross, or that you freak out every time you see our pet, you're being rude to us. You're not being rude to the rat. You're not hurting the rat's feelings. They don't understand what the heck is going on. Yeah, that's right. She agrees with me. But you are hurting our feelings because we feel ashamed for owning a pet that is actually a really normal, really good pet that shows a lot of love and compassion. So, yeah, like, Marnie shows a huge amount of empathy towards me. She can tell I'm kind of getting upset because this topic is very sensitive to my heart, which is why she's bruxing a lot. Because she's like, hey, it's okay. Hey, it's okay. I love you. So yeah, I'm just posting this on YouTube real quick. So yeah, even if you don't like rats, that is okay. That is your opinion and it's a valid one. But don't insult other people for having a pet that you don't resonate with.